So if we just go back to like the start of when you first joined us, or like just before you joined us,
Yeah.
how would you describe like your situation back then?
Yeah. So like I had mentioned before, I was already losing the weight, I was already committed with losing the weight. Um before I had joined the team, but I was winging it pretty much, There was no structure. That's really what I realized after being in here, and having joined the team, was I was just there was no structure at all. I didn't know what I was doing. I was winging it, and if I lost weight, I did it with hard work, but it was luck, you know. Um, and so yeah, that's where I was. Ultimately, that's what I think I gained the most, and what I was lacking the most is structure in what I was doing, and losing the weight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how did that feel for you then, like not having the structure and just sort of winging it?
Honestly, like I was saying, it's like good luck, Like I'll jump on the scale and I'll be like, whoa, like you know what I mean? Like there wasn't like, yeah, it's working. It
Yeah.
was more like, oh shucks, ooh, I got there.
Yeah.
And so now it's like I jump on the scale and I'm like, to be expected. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah. Yeah.
structure there, so I know what I'm working with and I know what I'm working towards. Whereas before it was like, I have this vague goal in mind. I have this vague goal in mind, and I might get there. Whereas now I've got this vague goal and I know how I'm gonna get there.
Yeah. 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 100%. You're just definitely a lot more in control, and
100%, yeah.
it's, yeah, like you say, just predictable. You've got the belief that you can do it as well. You're not just sort of winging it. I think that's an important part of the transformation, is having the belief that it's possible and it's going to happen. Because a lot of people as well, when they're winging it, or they maybe just don't think that achieving their goal is possible based on the things they've tried before and like their own limiting beliefs.
Mm.
It's then, yeah, they therefore then make it impossible for them to reach their goals. Because if you don't really believe something's possible, then it's very difficult to achieve it. And I think with you having now the structure, and you're just a bit more clear on what you need to be doing,
Yeah.
when it's more predictable, it's definitely making you a lot more likely to succeed. And obviously you've seen that with like the
Yeah.
the changes for sure, man.
100%.
So I mean, obviously with winging it, there's an element of that people like, because it's like they feel like they're not really needing to focus on it as much. But how have you found that transition to now focusing on it a bit more, and having the structure rather than winging it, like, and having a bit more intention behind it? Like, how have you found that? Have you found it okay?
Yeah, yeah. I found it great. Actually, one thing I've been trying to do just throughout my life is to move intentionally,
Mm.
and so having a bit of structure, a bit of intention there, and learning about these things like the tracking and stuff. I love it. Like I love it because I know it's gonna work, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
what works, and so if I just keep doing this, if I keep learning these things, I'm gonna get there. You know.
yeah. 100%,
Um,
man. 100%. Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, you need to have the big goals, obviously, that we set right at the start, and then it's just mapping out that game plan to get there, and having that intention behind it is super important. Because a load of people, they don't really have intention behind what they're doing, and it's just guesswork, and then they don't achieve what they set out to achieve, and then it's just a cycle. Like, they tell themselves, see, like, it wasn't going to work, I knew it wasn't going to work, and then that's it. Then that's just like locked in their mind, and that's just that cycle they're forever stuck in.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what would you say was the biggest thing that you were struggling with, like, before? I think it was, from what we spoke about, I think it was like more the nutrition, would you say?
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I like the structure. That's why I like the tracking, because my biggest struggle is nutrition, is food. Like I'm not addicted to anything but food. Like food is my addiction. I can't stop myself. When I'm hungry, I eat beyond my means. Just because I can, because I eat with my eyes. You know what I mean? And so now I'm like, I'm counting the calories, I'm tracking what I'm eating, and I'm listening to my body now, like
Mm.
I'll eat this amount of calories. Before, I'll eat whatever I wanted in whatever amount, and then I just feel stuffed. Whereas now I'll eat with intention, I'll wait, and then realize I'm actually full. Like I'm
Yeah,
not. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
never listening to my body. I was just listening to my eyes and my mind. But now I have
Yeah.
a better relationship. A better
Yeah, well,
relationship
that's
with
it.
food.
That's it, man. It's a better relationship with food, and that's a massive habit change. Like that's really a great sign that you're setting yourself up for success, and that this is something that you're changing your lifestyle with. Is those types of habits. A lot of people they're not really thinking about that stuff, and that's why they don't succeed. They're thinking on these shorter time horizons, and they're only thinking about the training and nutrition. But those are the types of habits that really change your life and change
Yeah,
you as a person. And that's what you need to do. You need to change those foundations if you want to succeed long term. People don't understand the importance of that. Changing what you've spoken about there, like your relationship with food, of changing your decision making process internally of like, right, am I going to eat this? Am I going to eat that? Am I going to eat more? Am I going to eat less? Like, when am I going to eat? And those like pathways in your mind, the fact that you've been changing those already is really a great sign. And just, yeah, your response to different situations for sure.
mm,
It comes back to that intention, I think, as well.
yeah, yeah,
That's how you're going to build those new habits. So I think when we started, then you were like 130, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Just above 130. Yeah.
So how would you say how would you describe how you were feeling when you were 130?
Hmm. Well, I won't lie. I won't say that. I felt super awesome because that's how I feel right now. Um, uh, I had already been in the journey, so I was happy with where I was, but I wasn't. It's not like I wasn't satisfied.
Yes.
So I knew that I knew I felt like um I want to lose more, not just lose more. I just want to be healthier. I was hungry for food, but I'm hungry for health. I'm hungry for longevity still.
Yeah, yeah.
And it carries on today. Like I still want to lose more. I still want to get healthier. I still want to feel stronger. But it was, yeah, that well, nothing's really changed, really. I'm just
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
hungry. I'm ready to change. That's what it
Love it,
is.
bro. Yeah. That's the best way to be. Grateful for how far you've come, because obviously you did make some great progress before you joined us.
Mm,
And you obviously need to be grateful for the things and the wins, and remembering that, stacking those up in your mind and building that solid positive mindset. But then just also reminding yourself that, yeah, you are grateful for the wins, but you're not satisfied, and
yeah,
you do want to achieve more. And that's how you keep on progressing with
yeah,
that abundance mindset, really, of thinking about all the positive things, but
mm,
just making sure you're keeping on going in that direction as well, and not just sort of staying stuck where you are.
100. Yeah. That's it.
Awesome, man. So what really were your biggest drivers, like your biggest motivations for joining up and losing the weight?
Besides the structure, how would is that like to join you specifically
Yeah,
or
so like
just to lose weight?
like to lose weight in general, besides from like the obvious of trying to get a bit fitter, trying to get a bit healthier, what were really like the reasons for you behind wanting to lose the weight?
My future, that's what it is. It's my future. I'm not just losing it for me. I'm losing it for my missus, for my wife. I'm losing it for my family and my family that I'm gonna have. I wanna do the things that parents did before phones came in the way. You know what I mean? Like I wanna go and take my child to all their games, and I wanna be there through all their triumphs, through all of their trials and that. Like I realize like, man, I'm not just living for me. I need to live for those that I love as well. And so I just want to live a longer, fuller life, and just give my children, my future, more than just let's watch a movie. Yeah, let's watch a movie, but maybe we'll go for a swim or we'll go for a hike or something like that. And I
Yeah,
know that, and for all the other things that I want to do, like I want to hike, but I couldn't do it at 150 kgs, so I had to lose it. Otherwise, I've done hiking at 150 kgs and it's not nice. It's not nice at all. Right? So I did it for future me. I did it for the heavy breathing that I don't want to do anymore. And I'm doing it for my future, my family. I just want to live longer and live fuller. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's amazing. Like it's super inspiring that you want to become the best version of yourself for your future self, but also for the people around you. Yeah, the motivations don't get much bigger than that. It's pretty cool, and I know obviously people are going to watch movies, people could go on their phones and things like that for sure. But I think it's so important to really think about what you want your life to look like and what you want your family's lives to look like. Really, being that leader for them and setting that example for them and guiding your children to be able to live the life that they need, not
Mm.
necessarily just always relying on their phones. Being able to go and do stuff with them, like that's awesome. That's awesome, man. And yeah, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they do. It's like that comfort trap of just choosing, right? Okay, yeah, just go and sit there and go on your phone. We won't go to the park. We won't go and do that. We'll just go on our phones. We'll just watch this movie. Obviously, there's a time and a place for that, but overall, you want to look back and realize that you've made the most of your life and your family have had the best time possible. The worst thing is just looking back with regret.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's super cool, man. How does it feel for you now then? Obviously going from that point where you couldn't do those things to now knowing that you're like on that path and you're like becoming that version of yourself that you wanted to be.
Feels feels awesome, bro. It feels awesome because like I'm becoming the version of me that I want to be, and I've been wanting to be that version for too long, you know. Like I mentioned to you before, it would have been about 10 years that I've been this light, you know. And I don't even know really. I'm just guessing. It's just a ballpark. I don't even know for real, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And so like every day and every milligram, every kilogram that I lose, I'm a step closer to the version that I want to be. And it feels freaking awesome, bro. Like I love it, and I just continue to look forward. No, I just keep looking forward to the day that I'm like, you know, I I walk this hill with ease,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
and I
yeah,
did that before. We have this hill back here, back over here, and I used to puff halfway and then walk the rest and puff at the top. Like a few weeks ago, I just walked straight up, and I got to the top, and I turned to my missus, and I was like, babe. I wasn't struggling. Like even that noticing that little change,
yeah.
I'm a step closer to the version of me that I want to be, and that's
Amazing,
someone that
man.
doesn't have to breathe so heavily. But I love it, bro. It's awesome, bro.
That's so good. Yeah, it's so important to reflect on those moments, man. Like a lot of people, they don't do that and they don't give themselves the credit for what
Mm,
they've been able to achieve. You know, getting instead of getting puffed out like halfway up the hill, getting puffed out maybe even just like three quarters of the way.
yeah,
That's such a big win. Like, because this is what it's all about. Is with your fitness being the foundation for everything else. It's like these are the moments that it's all about.
mm,
It's like yes, of course, we want to lose weight. Like we want the number on the scale to be coming down. But it's like why do we want that? We want that because of all these other things.
mm,
Too many people they only focus on one or the other. But like yes, the weight's important. Yes, the scale needs to come down. But why are we actually doing this? And like those are the reasons why, man. Like for the kids, for going up on hikes and stuff.
yeah,
That's what it's all about, and getting that feeling within yourself, and just reminding yourself of those things that you have been able to achieve. Because that's huge, man. To be 10 years since you've been this light, that's crazy. That is such a long time.
yeah. Too long.
Yeah, so you need, just make sure, you give yourself credit for that, man, because that's incredible, really, when you think about it. It can seem like day to day, like you just sort of go by, we go by doing a check in every single week, and, it doesn't seem like much changes week to week necessarily. But when you take a step back and it's like now, since joining us, you lost 10 kilos, and it's been 10 years since it's been this weight, that's incredible, man.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, you should be super
100%.
proud of yourself for that, for sure.
Yeah, nah, I am. And the coach that you set me up with does a good job at reminding me of those types of things, to remember those wins, even when I'm having a bad week. The bro would come to me, he's like, nah, actually, you're tracking really well. Don't forget that. Don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
that
yeah,
you
100%.
you lost this amount in this week and whatever. Like we set the target for you to lose that amount like 2 weeks later, but you did
Yeah,
it
yeah.
already. So if you're having a bad week, just remember that you did well, you know. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, we set high expectations for ourselves, bro. You know, it can it's most of the time it's a positive thing, but you also just want to make sure that it doesn't become a negative thing of like being too hard on yourself and then we end up
Mm.
giving up. And yeah, it's just pulling it back a bit and just really getting that balance, because yeah, we'll set goals for ourselves, and I'm guilty of it too sometimes. You know, we'll set goals for ourselves, like big goals, and then actually we end up achieving them early, but then by that time we've already set ourselves a new goal, and we're like, if we don't hit that goal in time, then we're, beating ourselves up about it. But
Mm.
take a step back and like realize you've already achieved the goal you set, already, and just be grateful for that. And it's great that we're always just pushing for big things, but really important to stack the wins up as well, for sure. One other thing I was sort of looking back at our notes, bro, when we first started, when we had that first chat, was from like the health perspective. I think I know a big goal for you was just like living longer, having a better quality of life as well. From the health perspective, what were like the goals there for you? Because I think you said as well, like you spoke with the doctor and he was like,
Mm.
saying about, I think you were talking about like diabetes or something, or not
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
like if you end up like keep
Mm.
continuing. So what was like the situation with that?
Yeah, back then I was, well, all over 150 kilos, and I went in for a random blood check and stuff before a checkup, and asked the doctor if he could run some bloods, and came back to me and he's like, man, if you basically, he was saying if I kept eating the way that I was eating and being inactive the way I was inactive, I'd get type 2 diabetes, I think it was. I was just on the road to diabetes, you know. And at that time I would have been about 23, young, like too young to have diabetes that young, because I was eating myself towards it. I thought, frick, I need to change my life. I need to change something. Either the way that I'm eating, no, it had to be the way that I'm eating, and getting more active and being more out there, being the person that I say I want to be, but not doing anything about it. I haven't had a blood test anytime recently, but I'd like to think that I'm not on that road anymore. Um, because I'm eating consciously. I'm eating intentionally. I'm tracking what I'm doing. I'm moving a bit safer now. I'm more conscious about where I want to be and how I'm going to get there. But yeah, back then, for a doctor to tell you that young and be like, bro, you're going to get diabetes the way that you're going, man, it really just put things into perspective for me. And so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
knew I had to move differently. Yeah.
yeah. It's just that it sometimes takes those kind of moments to really kickstart that change, because
Mm,
a lot of us are just in patterns of life, whether that's good patterns or bad patterns, whatever it might be, and you're just used to what you're used to. And if you're just going about your life the way that's normal for you, and that sort of normal for you is
yeah,
on that road to diabetes, but you don't
yeah,
really see it as a bad thing or like a major problem. But then, yeah, sometimes it takes something like that, like someone saying something to you, like your doctor telling you you're going to get diabetes, or your kid saying something to you, or something happening, like you struggle to do something. It sometimes does take those moments, unfortunately, to kickstart that change. But the most important thing is then, like, when something like that happens, just not beating yourself up too much about it, just using it as fuel to go in the right direction, and just making sure
mm.
you're focusing on creating a proper change and like doing it in the right way, so you don't ever get to that point again. What would you say you're most proud of then, bro, since your time on the team? What would you say you're most proud of achieving in this time?
Understanding tracking, like I said, I was winging it, but now, like, I look at something and I kind of see the value that it has in terms of a calorie. And so with my breakfast, I'm a simple man when it comes to eating anyway. With my breakfast, like, I know now that, because I've been tracking my food for, you know, a couple of months now. I know three eggs and two toasts is good for me. And if I want to add more, like if I chuck mushrooms on there, you know, then I know I'm good. I know that meal right there is about 500 to 600 calories, depending on what toppings I put on. And I know how much rice I can have. And I know how much rice I can have, not just for the calorie, but now it's what fills me and what I know is going to be okay, and I'm not going to be like, I'm still hungry, you know, like just that more intimate relationship with food and seeing it as like fuel. And it's well, really it's that, really it's that, because I used to look at food as like something that I can just indulge without bound. Like I just go in and eat whatever I want, however I want, and whatever amounts that I want. And like now I'm looking at it like, would this fuel me? Okay, if I eat these fruits now, I'm gonna feel more fuller and have more energy for the day. Like, so
Yeah,
it's the relationship with food that I like the most.
definitely, man. That's a big mindset shift as well, like how you're looking at food. Because I remember when we first spoke, you were just like, I love food so much.
Yeah, bro.
And that's fine. And I was just saying to you, wasn't I? Like, that's fine, man. I love food. Like, who doesn't love food?
Mm,
But yeah, look, so many people tell themselves that, oh, I love food, so that's why I can't achieve my goals. But it's just because they're doing things like, I know you did the fitness challenges before as well, like the 6 week one I think we spoke about.
yeah,
It's just obviously when people do those types of things or just any sort of diet where they're cutting out stuff completely, they then create this relationship in their mind of like, oh, I can't eat those foods I love and lose weight.
yeah,
So then in their mind, like they're saying, oh, I love food so much. So I'm not going to lose weight because the only way to lose weight is doing these things. As long as you can change your mindset, like you've already done, of realizing like you can still love food, but you just got to change your relationship with it slightly, change your habits a bit. You can still eat
mm,
the food you love. You just got to have a bit of balance.
yeah,
Then, you know, once you've got that mindset shift, it's just yeah, 100% you're going to reach your goals, bro, because
yeah,
as you know now, like you can still love your food, and you shouldn't try and change that about yourself, like that you love food, because you can still love it, but it's just changing your relationship with it. Do you feel like you still enjoy the food you're eating, or yeah, I mean, and there's no like right answer to this. It's just sort of whatever you feel like. Do you, because obviously you still sort of love food, but you've obviously just got under the 120. So
yeah.
how do you feel like with that relationship now? Like, do you still feel like you love food, or do you feel like you're trying to keep that part of yourself down, or like how do you feel about it?
I think it's exactly what you said. It's balance. Yeah, I still love food, but I still keep it down because I know where I want to be. With that said, I still indulge, like like I one thing about me, I love chicken. I love chicken, but I
That's a
don't
good
like
food to like.
chicken
That's a good food
breast,
to like.
right?
Yeah.
But I will prepare it or I'll cook it in a way that I can still track it, so I know exactly what I'm eating. And if I have to sacrifice a couple of calories to have a couple of drumsticks or some chicken thigh fillet, then I know I know what to do. It's give or take. It's like, oh, okay, if I'm gonna have this, then I have to have a little bit less rice, but that's okay. That's all right because I'm getting my what they call it, like this satisfaction chemical. I can't remember what it's called. I get it
The
by eating my chicken. That's exactly
dopamine.
dopamine. I'm getting it because I have exactly what I want. After everything said, I know I want chicken, and I'm gonna get that. And so I went traveling for like 3 weeks, and internet was crap. I was also out overseas, like in India, Nepal, Bhutan, and I'm over there, and I'm like, I'm not gonna if they come to me and they say, "Here's this Indian cuisine that you've never had in Australia," I'm gonna have it. I
Yeah.
didn't really hold myself back, and but I was conscious. I was conscious with what I was eating and the amounts I was eating. I came back and I was lighter than I left.
Yeah.
And I wasn't tracking. I was just making conscious decisions like, oh yeah, I can have this. I can have that. I left here 122 kgs and I came back 120. So
Really. That's crazy,
those
man. Yeah.
exactly. I was mind blown. I jumped on the scale a day before I flew back, and I was like, bro, I'm lighter than I left. Well, how does that work? Okay, then but it was that relationship that I built, the understanding that I built, and my consciousness that I built with food that I would say ultimately allowed me to get there.
Amazing, man. Yeah. That's That's pretty amazing that you went on holiday and still came back lighter. It's yeah, it comes back to having that balance. Like,
Mm,
people go on holiday, they'll stress so much about, oh no, I can't eat that. I haven't been used to eating that. But once you've got the knowledge and the intention, and you can just you know how to have the perfect sort of balance between eating foods that are going to fuel you, eating the foods that you like. Yeah, it's a game changer because then you don't feel guilty and you don't
mm.
have that negative feeling behind it, which sets everyone up for failure when they're doing that. So, yeah, pretty amazing, man. That's awesome. No, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Thanks.
Um, Amazing, bro. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything to be honest that I've got to sort of run through. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Oh, well, I don't know, really. I just, like, I was going to make a video about this as well, and I'm glad that you touched on, a lot of people, myself included, when it came to losing weight, a lot of the time that I would try, I always thought like, oh man, that just means that I can't eat this. I can't have bread. I can't have carbs. I need to cut it out. I need to cut it out. I still have bread. I still have rice. I still have the things that I love. You just got to control it. And that's what I've been doing because there's a structure in place. There's a structure telling me that within this bound, like another thing that I like to think about when I look at the calories, I think about the calories as money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got $2,400 of calories that I get to spend each day, and I'm buying the chicken drumstick that I want, and I'm buying the rice, and I'm buying the bread. Or I'm swapping out this particular bread for high protein bread that I have, and I love that bread. And I'm buying that, and I'm learning how to spend these calories
Yeah,
more
yeah.
efficiently
That's
so that I
interesting.
feel better, not just full, but I feel like, oh yeah, not like, oh, man, I just had chicken and broccoli. You don't have to have that, man. You can
Yeah,
have
yeah,
what you
yeah.
want.
That's cool. That's I actually really like that to be honest, because you're reframing the calories because you're not thinking from a restrictive perspective. You're actually coming from it with quite an abundance mindset of like thinking about what can I get for the
Yeah,
calories, and you're spending it. You're getting something. You're buying something with that
yeah,
analogy. So yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, it's the same with everything. Like with the money analogy, it's like yeah, you're gonna do some things in your life that maybe they're a lot of money, but it was a great time and a great experience. And it's the same thing with your food. There's going to be some things that are a little bit more calories, but you are going to have every now and then because that's life, and you enjoy those things. But it's just about not going crazy with those things, and throwing all your money away when you've got other things that are going to fuel you. So yeah, I love that one. That's a good analogy for sure.
hey, man, yeah,
Awesome,
man.
bro. Awesome.
I'm rich.
We need to